Happy November. I realized the first video I made, we made a mistake on. Well, we'll keep moving forward. So the security program is actually for November, not October. Um, so I did forget one thing to include on the last video, the first one, is the program quiz. That is some general questions that like an OSHA inspector could ask us as employees of CHS if they did come to visit our facility. So it's a good idea to go through those quizzes just to make sure we have an idea of what questions that they could ask and what we could prepare ourselves for. Okay, so then I'll just go over to that and read through a few questions. So number one, why should you complete a vulnerability assessment? And where should it be kept? It's kept in the office in the security binder, and just an idea of the kind of the rolling stock, the asset specific things we have that could be stolen from us. So we have a list of what we have and what we can manage. Number two, what are some things that can be done to prevent unauthorized or uncontrolled access into your facility? Make sure the doors, windows, garage doors, they're all locked. Limit the number of entry points and exit points that are used by vendors, visitors, contractors. I know most people know what we have at our facility, so I've been here through before with contractors. Number three, prior to locking up for the evening, a closing time inspection must be completed. And what you should look for. So hot bearings, motors, a smell or odor that something doesn't seem right, signs for smoldering fires, or just unusual suspicious activity. Number four, what needs to be done if your CHS key is lost or stolen, and that is just to notify your manager. Works good enough for us, and we'll go from there to make the appropriate actions. Number five, who must sign in and out upon arrival at the facility? Vendors, contractors, and other visitors need to sign in and out. That's done so we are knowing who is all in our facility, so we can get a head count in case there is an emergency situation. What must be done if you receive a threat to yourself, a fellow employee, or to your facility? All threats, employees, or facility must be documented and reported to management and/or local authorities. Number seven, when must security training be done? That's when you're first hired, and then annually thereafter. Fertilizer security. What must a risk management plan for anhydrous ammonia tanks include? Hazardous associated with, but not limited to, the chemical release prevention, tank maintenance, and emergency response. Number nine, fuel security. Shut off power to storage tanks, propane tanks if it's like after business hours. So if you guys have any ideas through these questions of how we could be more secure, just let Matt or I know. Fumigant security, I'll just let you read through that one yourself there. You can pause the video. Pesticide, we have a decent building to keep the stuff under lock and key under a roof. Number 12, grain operations security. Who is the first line of defense against malicious act at the grain facility? That's the employees. Human food processing security. We don't have to worry about that with our business here. So if you want to pause the video and read through these remaining questions, that works for us. I'm going to jump back to the agenda. So November, it is the security program. Just did the program quiz. So when you do your near misses and your good catches, so each near miss, each good catch is worth a point. I think you've heard of that before. It's have to have 10 points throughout the year, and it's either 4 or 5 near misses and/or good catches. So those are shared each week. There's a weekly brief that comes from our corporate office that shares those good catches and then kind of just passes it along. The ideas that all of you guys have and then it can share it throughout the other business units to say, hey, that's a good idea. We should try doing something different or safer, things like that. So there's a point board I put up by the time clock, so you can see that. It's like an example is if you are on the fire department, volunteer fire department, you can get 5 points for that, and then your misses are worth a point. If you ever want to have fun and lead this recording this class, you can get 3 points. Let me know if you want to do that. I'm going to turn it over to Matt, and then he's going to cover the last couple of bullet points.
Next, we have our winter driving. We've all driven on winter roads for the past how many years of our life. We know what to do. We know how to be safe. When you're out there, just make sure you always keep your distance. Wear your seatbelt. Watch out for the black ice. Everybody knows not to use cruise control most of the time in the winter when it's kind of crappy outside. Our storm policy, normally what we do is if there's no travel advised, we will not be on the road. If there's no travel advised, 9 times out of 10, there's no school. If school is late, then we're late. Pretty much the morning of a storm or whatever, we will be in touch with you guys, letting you know what we will or we won't be doing. We got safe lifting practices. Like you've all heard before, lift with your legs, not your back. If it's something real heavy, utilize all of our mechanical equipment around the yard, forklift, bobcat, payloader. Work smarter, not harder. So use the mechanical stuff that we have.
All right, well, thanks for watching. So this is the end of the month, so we only have today and then tomorrow morning when you clock in. Please print your name, put your employee number, and your signature on the training roster. I'll leave that by the time clock. So please fill that out, and then we'll get it filed away, and we'll see you next month. Thank you.